Welcome back. Well, the AKP party has escaped an outright ban, but it's been punished by the Turkish courts for, well, as they see it, attempting to Islamize the country. Well, since the 1960s, the courts have banned over 20 political parties for allegedly being anti-secular. Most have been pro-Islamist or pro-Kurdish. Well, the AKP party trial has been the first time that a closure case has been brought against a governing party with a huge parliamentary majority. Well, despite Turkey being a secular republic, the AKP party won 47% of the vote in the last election. Far from exonerating the party, this latest ruling raises the question, is it possible for a political party with a religious agenda to comfortably exist in a secular state? Well, joining us once again are our guests in Ankara, Haluk Ozdalga, also in Ankara, Taiba Gulek, and in Milan, Angelo Sant'Agostino. Thank you all for joining us once again. If I could start this time with Mr. Haluk, is the ruling perhaps evidence that a party with Islamic roots can coexist in a secular setup?
Well, thank you very much for asking this question. I want to say clearly that AKP party is a party fully loyal to the principles of secularism and secular state. And AKP party, we have absolutely no secret agenda whatsoever, as some people claim. This claim that AKP party has some secret agenda has absolutely no grounds. And we have no political program to have a state based on religious rules, or to have a constitutional order in Turkey based on religious rules. In this context, I want to point out to one more fact. Everybody should know about Turkey, that not only today, but even in the past, in our history, we have never had a state based on religious rules. Our history, our traditions, Turkish tradition is different in that respect. So clearly there is no ground in Turkey, in my opinion, to think that there could be a risk for a state, for a constitutional order based on religious rules.
Right, but many of your opponents perhaps would argue that some of the key personalities in the AKP party have backgrounds of being members of organizations with Islamic roots. In a sense, has Turkey passed a new stage where it can...
Yes, but the debate is... Yeah, but this is a very clear situation for Turkey, and there has, even in the so-called Middle Ages, in Dark Ages, we didn't have a state, a political order based on religious rules, and there will never be such a thing in Turkey, that's for sure. And AKP party has no such agenda. AKP party is fully supporting and fully loyal to the secular state and principles of secularism.
All right, let's bring in Mr. Angelo from the European perspective. Is this perhaps a model for many of the countries south of the Mediterranean, Muslim countries, of how perhaps religion and politics can coexist?
Well, I think that Turkey could really be a model for other Mediterranean and Muslim countries. And I've always been a supporter of the membership of Turkey since 1999, because I think that the added value of having Turkey, but of course a secular Turkey, inside the European Union, that Turkey could be a mediator with the Mediterranean area, with the Middle East. A Turkey inside the European Union could propose its model of coexistence between democracy and Muslim religion as a model for the other Mediterranean countries. And there is a huge difference in terms of degree of democracy and in terms of degree of economic development between Turkey and Syria, Lebanon, all the other Mediterranean countries. And I think that most of this difference is due to the fact that that Turkey is a secular state, and this allowed for the modernization of the economy and for economic growth. So Turkey could be really, should be a model adopted by other Muslim countries, and namely, essentially Mediterranean countries.
All right, let's bring in Tiber into the discussion once again. The battle over the AK Party may be over, but in a sense the struggle remains, doesn't it, between Turks from the Anatolian heartland, the more conservative, perhaps more religious, depending on how you want to describe them, and those on the western side of Turkey. What happens next in that struggle?
Actually, I think it's a bit misleading and almost a bit of a mistake to simply look at Turkey as just these two polarized groups, you know, Kemalist, pro-Atatürk groups on one side, as you say, on the west, and the rest being more conservative, almost pro-AKP. You have to first of all see that the AKP in both of the last two
I wasn't trying to say that all the Anatolian Turks are supporters of AKP, but looking at the bigger picture.
No, I know you're not. No, I know you're not, but more conservative, you know, maybe more likely to vote, but that's not, I know that's not what you're saying, but what I'd like to point out is, first of all, it's not such a clear-cut division. It's not such a there is a lot of polarization. There is a lot of tension in the country, which has increased a lot in the last few years. And a lot of that has been contributed to, I think, especially by some of the policies of this government. But there are many, like my party, there are many people in the heartland who are both you know, quite tied, quite close to their religion and to our secular republic. And they have no contradiction, no problem, no conflict between those two. And I think the important thing to realize here is that, first of all, it's a bit dangerous to mix politics and religion anywhere in the world. But to realize, first of all, that no single party in our country has a monopoly on religion, or no one has a monopoly on the secularist ideals or on nationalism. You know, there are many people who crisscross between all of these. But, you know, there could be many people who are in the rest of the country who are quite religious, but who don't necessarily demonstrate it that's not visible, but it's very private. So that's very important to realize. I think what the message from the public, we travel the country all the time, what people want to see is an eradication of this increasing tension. They want harmonization. They want cooperation between the different political actors. When important steps that are involving our country, our future, our neighborhood are being taken, they want to see that the input and the cooperation, contribution of all the different actors, whether opposition or government, are in there. And I think that makes people really flourish. During our coalition government, that's between very odd partners, by the way, between 1999 and 2002. That's the message we got. People were really happy to see a working coalition among different partners. And I think right now it would be a really positive message to see and to acknowledge that that's the message being given by the people, rather than just saying simply it was just a refusal of the court case, to say, well, they're cutting off half the Treasury aid. We need to take some heed from that.
Right, I'm sorry, we are running out of time, so I'll have to leave it there. Our guest, Tayyip Gulek from the Democratic Left Party, Haluk Ozdalga from the AK Party, and Angelo Sant'Agostino from the University of Brescia. Thank you all for joining us. And thank you for joining us here on this edition of Inside Story. As always, we welcome your feedback. Feel free to send it to us at insidestory@aljazeera.net. For now, it's goodbye.